hymn devotion for this coming Sunday, December 20th. We're going to be looking at an Advent hymn, Peopl Look East. This hymn you'll hear is set to a very joyful tune that comes from the French carol tradition. So I wanted to let you know that a couple of our Christmas Advent hymns are French carols. We are very fortunate to sing carols from a lot of different nationalities during the Christmas season. So this is a French carol. Other ones include Il est né, which is He is born, the Holy Child. French carol is the name of another one, which is Sing We Now of Christmas. And then Gloria, Angels We Have Heard on High, is another French carol. So the hymn writer of Peopl Look East is another female author, Eleanor Farjeon. She started writing when she was 16 as a librettist. So that means that she would write the text of an opera that her brother Harry wrote the music to. But in England, she is most well known now for her writing of children's books. And she's won a couple of prestigious literary awards as well. In our hymnal, we have this text of hers, Peopl Look East, and also one that you may have sung before, Morning Has Broken, number 145 in our hymnal. So when we take a look at this hymn, Peopl Look East, we can right away see that the theme is the theme of Advent, preparation and anticipation. The refrain, which uses the first line of the hymn, Peopl Look East, refers to both the direction of the sunrise and then also traditionally the direction that Christians believe Jesus will come for the second time, coming from the east. And you may know that traditionally Christian churches have been built so that the people, when they're worshiping, face east, so that when Jesus comes back, we will be looking in the right direction, the first to see him. Each of the stanzas of our hymn then talk about an element of God's people or God's creation, preparing for Jesus to come. So in the first stanza, which you'll see here, the hymn writer talks about a home being prepared for Christmas. Have you ever thought about this act as being symbolic of preparing yourself for the coming of Christ? It's a really nice picture. This thought of the home being like the heart is echoed in a couple other poems that I thought of when I was thinking about this hymn. The Common Table Prayer obviously talks about Jesus being our guest at our table. And then one of the most beloved stanzas of carol in my Lutheran tradition similarly talks about making the heart a home for Jesus to come. The second stanza shifts focus a little bit to creation. So it talks about the earth's act of caring for and nurturing a seed. The final line of the stanza, Love the Rose is on the way, confirms that this is also symbolic of believers preparing their hearts to receive Jesus, who's described here as a rose. The third stanza brings us to Epiphany, mentioning the star that the Magi followed on their way to see the Christ child. The special nature of the star is really beautifully depicted. When night is dim, one more light the bowl shall brim, shining beyond the frosty weather, bright as sun and moon together. And then finally, we get the Christmas story in the final stanza, which talks about the announcement of the angels to the shepherds. It's got this really cool imagery of all creation humming and buzzing with the good news of the gospel. And the final line of the hymn clarifies and interprets the symbolism that came before. It's the perfect summary of this hymn. Love the Lord is on the way. Thank you for taking a look at this Advent hymn with us. We look forward to celebrating the final Sunday of Advent on Sunday. We'll probably take a couple weeks worth of breaks from our video devotion, but we will see you in the new year. God's peace.